Bossman.
There we go. There we go. Yeah. Hello.
So Ash was saying even Bryce can't get into SimGP. How far are we into this event? Can we restart the server? And
6 minutes in, live broadcast is on the way. I'm speaking to everyone on chat. So yes, we are very live.
oh boy, that's yeah. Okay.
So how many people are struggling at the moment?
I guess no, it's just Bryce from what I'm seeing in the chat. I'm busy checking the rest of the chats.
Just like I need to get more screens. All right, so back on qualifying. Let's just get these boys. Brandon, how's it? Let's get luxury time racing. Yes, Brandon, that is a brilliant idea there. Welcome back, season 2. It's a confusing season.
Okay, no, so it's only Bryce.
That's one man.
Bryce and myself. Yeah, Bryce and myself.
Two men. No live stewarding because we complicate things, no?
Seems like it. Yes.
It does seem like it. Too many securities and too many limitations as we head into qualifying sessions. Okay, so let me get zoned in and focused on a stream, and then you get depressed and disappointed on the sideline. Boys have done their out laps. First lap on the card, Ruan van der Walt. 21's on Spa. I don't know. I reckon.
No, that's slow.
You think?
Guys were doing 17s yesterday on Spa.
17's on Spa.
Yep.
That sounds a bit mad
But
at the
this
moment.
is fast. This is on fast track. So hold on. Yeah, that
Yes.
might be half decent, maybe.
It seems decent for a fast track. I was looking at all the conditions at the moment. So for those on the stream that doesn't really know, the track conditions is very, very dependent on where we are. So because it's fast, variability is out there. We don't have an optimal track there. Nel Pullion is starting to smash it into the 19s. Paul reckons we're probably going to see 17s. I don't think there's enough time to delve into that. These boys are not going to be happy doing qualifying in a fast track condition. So that's going to be entertaining.
Yeah, no, I think we're definitely going to have a very interesting event going down tonight. Especially we had the sprint races yesterday, and the top 5 guys who make up the top 3 teams were all separated within 3 of a second from each other.
Yeah, and what I see very interesting today is like quite a few boys from the AM class is up in the mix there in between the top 10s. And when I say a few, to my eyes, that looks like 50% of the fleet in top 10 is the AM boys.
Yeah, that is very confusing. Is it maybe that okay, so well, you've got two of the pro boys haven't set a time. Well, 3 because Lorera set a time, but it's 5 seconds off of Skitter. So yeah, I think the boys, they might have invalidated their first lap, or well, done a very exceptionally slow lap. So yeah, the pro boys should filter in nicely, but some of the AM guys were quite quick. There was talks of some of the AM boys doing 2:19s in Qualitrim on an
This is
optimum
going to
track.
be.
So
I'm going to cut you short. This seems to be a very hard lap from Stratum. Smashes it in with a 2:18.4. I've been watching his delta the whole time, and it just gets quicker and quicker by every second. And so does Skitter. So the 2 front runners of last week is back in the mix again. BMW on BMW, RTA versus the. I forgot what their team name is. Berry Blixums.
the Stratum and Berry situation is called the Berry Blixums. Yes, there we go.
It is. And then Robin van der Merwe here in the Audi, up in the mix there.
Yeah, he missed last week's race due to work commitments, so seems like sheep will not do the Lone Ranger situation.
Hmm. I'm gonna admit it. I mean, we all sit around and we talk about Spa, and I to be fair, everyone loves Spa. I don't think there's few people that do not, well, apart from you, I believe. But that's only because you love the Bentley, and that doesn't love Spa.
So the boys on stream are saying that they're not getting any track audio through on the stream, boss man.
Track audio, track audio. There we go. Okay, there we go. Oh, I feel terrible. Okay, that should be better.
Well, I've asked, so I guess we'll find out shortly.
Does that sound better? I am so sorry. I feel completely in a balls up scenario. It, I blame myself. I do blame myself. So, it's
Yeah,
Redders is there. Brooker is on stream. Ike on the not on the mic. I do miss listening to his voice though. Okay,
yes.
where are we?
Yeah, no, definitely. Mr. Ike the Mike definitely would be a nice addition, but he keeps building house.
Yeah, 20 seconds left. I don't think I've featured a lot of guys on track at the moment, so I've got to go and find these quick mans. Scruton in 10th. He is up on his delta at the moment in the top 10 currently, fighting for that, I would say, podium amp spot. And by
Yeah, I
the
must
looks
say,
of it,
the AM boys 7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 8, 9 separated by about 0.2 of a second.
yeah,
That
it's very
is
close, but Scruton's on a flyer here.
Is he going to jump them all?
Oh, what a jump! That is superb. He really, really smashed it out. But now I'm like Hardacre on there as well. He's got definitely jumping a couple of spots. Dupree, on the other hand, in the pro class, hasn't set the time. Looks good at this stage. Brings it in fourth place. So again, positions still change at the final seconds. This is good to hear. Now he's 0.2 off the base. And if I look at where the delta struggling is, like delta between him and Stratum at this moment is on point in sector 1 and 2. Like a few tenths split them out. He literally loses the remaining 2 tenths in the last sector. So if he pulls this off, that is a probable pole for him.
Well, let's see. Let's see if the boys can pull it off. It's been tight even last night in the sprint races. It was tight between.
Great exit, good entry. Oh, that looks firm. Keep it, keep it. This is gonna be tight.
Wow.
Oh, that is nail biting out of all of it. Like, unbelievable. He was up by 3 tenths when he exited that last corner, and he just lost a little bit of momentum. Potential track sliding, lost control, but that is close.
Yeah, no, that is definitely. Let's see what Loureiro does if he gets a little bit closer. No, yeah, well, he gets closer, but he remains in P5. So it's going to be interesting. Looks like Bullion and Vermeulen have got it all to do from 6th spot between those pro boys to try and keep up.
They do.
But it's close. Proper close.
It is proper close now. Nothing works for me again today, which is distorting. Normally I would have like a nice cam view of everything and everyone else.
Well, while you're doing that, I will be back in a jiffy just before we go racing.
Sweet. You take your break. So for everyone on the stream, again, I feel a bit flustered today, and I shouldn't be because, well, I don't know. let's not go there. All right, back on the mix. Qualifying standing positions is Strydom and Ryan Barrington Smith in first position, followed by Skitter and Vessels from the RTA boys. Now that is going to be phenomenally close between them, but then again, not far off the battle, we have Van der Merwe and Van Vieren in their Audi. Now, of course, Van der Merwe was not here as per the information from Paul Venter last week. So these are those two boys' favorite track at the moment. We have Dupree and Robson, Laredo, Van Zyl, Pullian, and Vermeulen. I've got to just do that, then I can at least get control again. There we go. Bit of control back into my hands again. It's all about using the applications. This is the warm-up lap. Now this is probably going to be one of the longest warm-up laps we will have in the century. Just go look at the times again. No, it only doesn't want to show what it needs to show. Oh, gotta swing it and wing it today. Okay. Ashley Breadroll on the stream. Brooker P1 here. P1 here doesn't really mean as much as the other tracks. That's from Brooker. I would probably agree with you on that, Brooker. P1 on Spa is not as important as most of the other tracks in ACC itself. Here it's all about avoiding those track cut conditions, managing your pit entry, pit exit, pit stops. Those are the vital key fundamentals in Spa. And then of course, managing the boys behind you. I mean, Slipstream can work with you or against you in any given circumstances. So it is a tight one. What Brooker says is very, very true. 3 wide in most of the corners. Yeah, that is definitely it. I mean, for those F1 fans that did manage to watch the F1 this weekend, this is where all the shenanigans can occur.
Yeah, I am back.
You are. Welcome back. Kind of missed you there for a second.
Yeah, when baby's called, then you go running.
So,
Okay.
for everyone that does eventually going to go and watch the stream or go back into it, realizing that one, our steering team is broken because they are broken.
Yeah, we will stew with them after the race. How's that?
But yeah, we probably have to.
We will have to. I'm hoping that they half behave themselves.
Gotta get all my viewing points right and ready and see where everything is.
Well, it's a long formation that you get lots of time at Spa.
Kinda do. There's a lot of things that is very important at Spa itself. I mean, from a corner perspective, from the technicality of it, our Rouge is where all the fun generally happens. Camel to camel straight is where everyone battles it through, and then of course you have to go down to Brussels and Dolce and Les and Compass and all those things. Blanchimont is one of my favorite corners. One of those that you can go phenomenally fast, but if you get it wrong with a slight touch on the curb or a bit too wide, I mean, track cuts.
Yeah, I think that's going to be key, because last night some of the boys were in a 20-minute session. They were hitting they were getting 3 track cuts. So yeah, definitely.
Well, and I think that's probably the hardest thing if you do a comparison. I mean, I'm a big fan of, for instance, Mount Panorama and places like that because it's full on adrenaline concentration. Like Panorama, you hit a wall, that's end. Spa, on the other hand, is quite the opposite. Very big track, very long track, wide in general, but for some other reason, developers and track cuts on Spa is crazy.
Yeah, I think they saw them race in real life when they were using all the track and then some, and decided now's the time to be harsh on sim races. Well, we're about to get ready for this race. This is going to be absolutely, I think, entertaining at its best.
I think it will.
If we make it through a Rouge, because if we survive that, I think we're in for a proper dogfight of a race.
Well, it's all depending on the green light. Our Rouge is where it matters. This is where the individuals need to think hard, think smart as they headed off into, I would say, the most dangerous corner. Side by side racing there. Looks quite clean from my eye point of view. Haven't realistically seen anything that gives me a hint of incidents and accidents, and this is just looking from the top end of it as the boys head all the way down Gemmell Straight. Stratum still has the lead. Robin being very aggressive and defensive at the same time. They're in third position. So have we noted any severe accidents? And
nothing. There hasn't been one yellow flag or one car being left behind. We look like one long stream of cars. Okay, now we've got a car that seemed to have run off track and is behind, but they're already back up and running already. So
that is A. Wilson there at the back of the pack.
They seem to have been either pushed off or ran wide because they seem to have been like the little dot was in the middle of nowhere, not on track physically.
As the two front running boys who tried to battle it out last week, back in the mix again, and I think from everyone's discussions after the race, it sounded like Skitter kept Stratum in check. And I haven't heard Stratum say that in a while, but it came across as if he was quite nervous and worried at the same time, because Skitter, with the new RTA livery and Stefan Wessels on his side, looks like a demon of a driver.
Yep, no, that combination definitely is seeming to be quite lethal at this time. I'm hoping to see a good race out of these 4 drivers in these 2 teams. I think it's going to be the second stints is where things are going to get really interesting between Wessels and Berries.
It is, and both of them have got phenomenal pace. So if Skitter can keep up with him, I mean, if we go back to the qualifying sessions, they were like off by 0.06 from a qualifying standpoint. So nothing really, hardly anything between them.
Yep, I see now. I mean, Jacques looks like he is lining up a pass in the background. There's a blue BMW fighting with a turquoise Audi.
Yes, so we got Audi going around the outside. Now that
he did the Lewis, or should I say, he showed Lewis how it's done when you go around it.
Again, great F1 philosophy. We learn from the best how to drive. New Greening on the other end, off the track, stands still.
Greening's lost it, and there's another spinner. Wayne
Bond and Greening, double whammy spin there.
Wilson's in the pits as well, so I assume he's busy repairing the damage that they incurred. Greening, I think he might have just run wide on his own, and the gravel trap there just flips your, it just throws the car in
Well, let's see
sideways.
what we get. So he gets very ugly out of that corner. So that is
That's
where
gonna
he
be
killed
severe damage.
himself.
Yeah, that's
Bond,
gonna
on
be
the other hand, looks like
he,
Bond just tried to avoid him completely.
yeah,
That's what I call great car control in general. Like, they really try to make the best out of it. Bond didn't seem to suffer any damage, but on the other hand, Greening smashed into that wall, which is sad because he's now got a lot of work to do with him. A car that would either be very understeering or oversteering, depending on the amount of damage he did occur on his left-hand side, smashing the wall. Of course, Dupree also making another error here, losing more track positions. So I gotta go and find good battles. Skitter and them are certainly on it. Lorero and Nail, or Jacques Vermillion, sorry, for those on the stream. Two BMWs almost side by side through Al Rouge. Jacques Vermillion looks to be hunting down on the tail
yeah,
end
he's
of that BM.
doing a lot of speed here.
That is very quick. Like, it just looks like that BM has no wing. Like, absolutely
Yeah,
no wing.
yeah, exactly.
Phenomenal pace. Like, Jacques Vermeulen is aka Max Verstappen in the early hours of the race. From last to first seems to be the objective this evening. Man, that's quick.
Yeah, no, he is absolutely looking like he is flying. He's definitely found a groove because he was complaining last night that he is not feeling comfortable. He is not happy with the car, and questioning the lap times that the boys were putting in, and he was just struggling to match that. But seems to have found something between last night and tonight.
Yes, and it's odd. I mean, Laredo last week was on point. He was committed to the race, was so zoned in and focused, took it up there and finished well. And this week, no offense, I think he's a brilliant driver, but down Kimmel Straight, he looked like a sitting duck.
Yeah, no, he definitely looked like. I mean, look at the gap he's already pulled on Sean Larreira. Unless they've done something wrong with the fuel or something, they've found extra speed somewhere.
Yeah, we gotta consider it tonight because again we've got 80 minutes of racing here. Only 7 minutes has gone through, so some of the boys might run a bit light as opposed to others, and others will go heavy, longer in, and then do a lighter instant.
Yeah.
And there's no firm pit stop on pit window that they need to apply to this evening. So
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. Well, I think objectively they need to go and figure out what the strategies are, and however that's going to unfold will be very interesting in my point of view. From a team racing perspective, I would have probably gone 50-50 just to make sure that my teammate has got adequate time on the wheel, as do I. But
yes,
we might find a different scenario because, again, as much as I alluded in the beginning of the race session before it actually started, I did say some people don't like the track itself. So there might be a few boys who would rather have less of a driving time as opposed to others.
Yeah, no, I agree there. And unfortunately, we have a few teams tonight that will be running solo drivers. So the two boys that informed admin that they were only running one driver due to some circumstances out of their control was G. van der Haar, Gary there in 15th. His teammate is away for work. And then Alex Moore in 9th. His teammate, unfortunately, is dealing with a family emergency and had to then take the race on their own. But now it seems from watching chats, T. Scott, as I say that, Gary decides to give us a spectacle and hit the wall.
That looked out of the blue for the strange.
Oh, and Andres has gone for another spin. Oh, he's jumped straight back to the pits.
Yes, I'm gonna go back and see if I can catch that off.
Were they not involved?
They were seemingly involved in some of the rings. So this is Van der Haar. He's chasing down a BMW, and there's no Audi in the mix in front of him.
Okay.
Helicam point of view. Yeah, Audi smack bam in the middle of the road.
Yeah, there was no way of avoiding that, unfortunately.
None whatsoever, and an absolute painful one there for Van der Haar. I mean, it just does not seem like Dupree has got the hang of that Audi, and it's not the first time I've actually seen him spun out. He seemed to have a bit of trouble at the beginning of the race, coming into the final corner there by the chicane, went off, came back on, lost a few positions. So this could be one of those cases where the driver just does not work well with the Audi, and I've been told that the Audi is quite good, but it's tricky.
Yeah, that's 100% true. The Audi it's a beautiful machine that wants to murder you every alternative second.
And while we at that, these are pro class guys, C. Van der Berg, and then of course Scruton, who is leading the AM class at the moment. Now he is not fighting for position, but I'm fairly certain he is trying his absolute best to maintain or create a bigger gap between himself and Hardacre, which seems to be doing very, very well. Moore, on the other hand, he's got a couple of boys on his tail. And of course it is an Audi. Audi hasn't had any good luck on this track, except in the hands of Van der Merwe. Feels like I'm talking way too much. I should be drinking less wine when I try and spectate some racing boys. So, who is on chat and on stream? Boys, keep me entertained. Ike, Audi is an odd one. Super stable on entry and apex tires to kill you on throttle. I'm going to believe Ike there, because I'll be honest, I've never driven the Audi at all. I think the only mid-rear engine car I can actually do is a Porsche, and other than that, everything else doesn't feel well. Again, that is Moore probably losing position there to Duplessis. Duplessis being excessively aggressive, takes the inside line as he heads into corner one. This is certainly up for the taking, but Hunter is going to try and be sneaky as well. That is Hunter getting the best he can out of it.
He should get... That was so close. The Audi should have gotten the better drive if it wasn't for that slight love tap over there.
That was a slight love tap, but I think they just hintedly misjudged that. But that BMW will have the legs down Camel Straight, as you see over there. Moore on the defense as best as he can. This is going to be a tight Lewis Hamilton one there. Ooh, very close. It's all about space, and there was hardly any there on that overtake. Moore just had to yield, but he is not going to let it go. No.
I think Hunter closed the door there, and kept closing the door, and Moore, I think Moore at that point was, well, my nose is here, I'm not moving.
Yes, and
that was the result of that.
That seemed to be the possible result of that one, because there was enough open gap for him to challenge for that position, and of course it's all about challenging that position. Whether he had enough time to notice that is the underlying question, but it doesn't seem like they came off with bad damage though. It's just all about anger versus fear versus why did he do that? This is not fair, not cool.
Yeah.
So again, now Hunter is under pressure by a pro driver, Mr. Van der Walt here, racing for the DMR Trailbreakers. Newbies on the block, doing very well this evening. They definitely up there in the mix. Last week was not a big success for them when it came to pit stop strategies and driver swaps. So hopefully they sit back this week and practice it a bit. I would go by one of the things that Alan Patterson and the PWSR boys will go for. Pit stops, pit stops, pit stops.
Yeah. So Dino, his teammate, said that they apparently practiced pit stop endlessly over the last few days. So hopefully that pays dividend to them, and they can have a clean race with a clean pit stop.
Well, anything can go. This is Spa. Pit stops and the long pit stop at Spa is not the only obstacle you need to overcome.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll wait and see, but it looks like Stadium and them has broken the back of the RTA BMW for now. I guess it will be, and we need to watch the gap because I see Robin is not too far behind Skutter there, so he might bring himself back into play before the boys jump into the pits here.
I reckon they will. Out of everyone else on the track, all the Audi boys seems to have struggled at Spa, and they've gone all the way backwards from race starting point of view. If I say backwards, it sounds absolutely awful by saying so, but each and every Audi driver out there has dropped positions to the rear. Like Duplessis has gone all the way back 13 positions to where he started. Then of course Moore was up there and he has subsequently lost a few places as well. And then the only individual that has held position is these three front running boys who hasn't really swapped anything.
No. Let's see. That gap's sitting steadily at 1.69 mark, so it is definitely going to be interesting once they do their pit stops. See who does what.
They are quick though, they are very quick. So for everyone on stream thinking about what lap times these boys are doing, I can assure you top three boys are doing very mid to high 218s on race fuel at the moment. The closest guy to them is of course Jacques Vermeulen here in the low 290s, and everyone else above that is running the 220 margins.
Yeah, that is some blistering pace.
That is quick. Again, that's just based on the last lap. Quick laps is out there. Sean Stradum's quickest lap at the moment is at 218.3, which is phenomenally quick.
Yeah, that's not slow by any means.
That is not slow. And then let's look at the speed trap scenario. Fastest boys down Kimmel Straight currently at this moment is with Skitter, Duplessis, Hunter, and then of course Moton. So all the BMW boys seems to hit the top end of the speed limiter mark down Kimmel Straight with a 262 kilometers per hour. Now that's phenomenally quick.
Yeah, that's anything above 260, you are absolutely flying, especially if you're possibly doing that without slipstream.
Yeah, that is very quick. Again, I like looking at the start. The start is just phenomenally awesome. Yeah, so let's go back where there's a bit of racing here. Now, this is not class racing, but kind of good to watch. I do love the sound of the Mercedes-Benz. I just don't know what it is about that engine, but it's so beautiful.
It's definitely one of the better better sounding cars in the game, that's for sure.
It is. There's something about a Merc engine that, and the sound of it that just makes you go all jiggly. It's like the first date you ever have with a beautiful woman, and you go, "Ooh, that just does it." Look at me talking about all kinds of weird things. I gotta be careful what I say because I got a wife as well that listens to every word I go by.
Yeah, so then you gotta monitor yourself.
I've got to monitor it. Car sounds are beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. As I get the devil eye from the other side of the room. I'm under pressure now. I need to perform.
Get it done.
Back to racing again. So no one has done any pit stops. 18 boys is still on the grid. Not a lot of battles everywhere else. And again, because it's Spa, a 2-second gap is probably about a 5 to 10-second gap in the terms of Monza versus Spa. Hunter, yellow flag. Ooh, went off the track there for a moment. Back onto it again. Doesn't seem like he's having a fantastic race though. He had that slight coming together with Moore not so long ago, and now he seems to just struggle in general. So BMW has got some damage. Let's see what happened to him. All looking wonderful down there. Oh, there it is. Lost the rear end as he came down the straight there, all the way down. That was a bit too wide, too quick on the throttle. Not a lot of traction control used there, and it just bit him a bit.
Yep, so I see Jude is saying that one of their liveries is seemingly not have loaded again. So it must be one of the luxury time cars, because I'm sure it was, I thought it was Hunter last week whose skin pack did not show, but it's showing this week. So who else could it be? Well, there's Sean Lareiro that's in a team, and then
So
must be Mouton. Let's have a look at Mouton. I think it's Mouton is the additional LT car.
there we go.
Yep, theirs is not loading. Jude will have a look at that, because the other two, and Mouton's whole front end is also destroyed. We'll definitely have a look at that, because the other luxury time cars are showing. Very, very strange.
It is kind of weird. Again, if any liveries are not showing, hook up with me. I did go through all my livery files and folders, deleted things that I believe was duplicates, double checked it just to make sure it's all good. Again, we might need to test that at some other point just to validate that we can see everything.
Yeah.
Because I like seeing good liveries. I mean, that's what it's all about. I still reckon this is my favorite. The TTHR car seems to be my eye-catching favorite at the present moment.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit different.
It is. It's the two-tone thing that
the BMW is liking. So yeah, definitely it seems to be a fan favorite with everyone, with the BMWs having the two-tone liveries working on the car.
Well, it's very well done. Like not that much of a sponsorship here and there, just enough to make it count. As Pace Motorsport seems to be under severe pressure there. That's Kel van der Berg being challenged by an AM class guy. Screwed on.
going side by side.
This
No, they
is
swapped
very
back.
close for these two gents. Coming up, Al Rouge. BMW versus BMW. Very similar livery concepts for both teams here. So C2B BMW. So you said that the last time, something to pace.
Yeah, hell to pace.
Hell to pace. Here we go. Great Sky Coffee livery there again. I think you can watch Mare there with a stop-go penalty. 30 seconds. Ooh, another driver there. Stop-go penalty. 30 seconds.
Both of the luxury time cars there, unfortunately, getting the stop-go 30s.
Yeah, so both luxury time cars receiving stop-go. Now I did have a look at Mouton or Mare when they came into the pits, and because we squinted at their livery, and that car still looks very damaged. So
yeah, hopefully it's just the game physics that's not updating the car at this moment. Because yeah, that front end looks like it's still not 100% repaired.
I keep forgetting that you don't have.
I unfortunately do not. I've got zero access. Myself and the West Wedding team are just passengers tonight due to some safety settings.
True.
Yes.
Oh, that doesn't work.
No, did not press the right code.
What is it?
Check for you quickly. There you go.
Seem to like me today. Nope.
No idea then why that won't work. That is our set.
See, now everyone's on. Yeah. Okay, so I can still do what I need to.
Okay, awesome.
There we go. Okay. Now we need to change passwords.
Unfortunately, yes. Because now we've all seen what your passwords are.
Yes, everyone has now seen what my passwords are. Time to go and edit the stream and go, you shouldn't have seen that. Apologies for everyone on the stream watching that. But again, we did indicate two drivers. Let's go based on that. Based on that, we did it because
Yes, we have
stop go
told
30s.
drivers
Yes.
stop-go 30s will be removed and changed to drive-throughs to not have having to do an additional pit stop. So yes, I was kind of sitting and worrying now with the stewarding team not able to access the server that boys would get disqualified.
Well, at least we can figure it out and then work together to get it done. I mean, a combination of both of us helping each other out now. Sadly, all we have to do is just change our passwords for next time around.
Where are we at? We are 52 minutes left of this race. So we're getting to the halfway point, and Stratum is obviously leading with Barry Blixens, and they have got Scooter behind them, about 4.7 seconds, and then they've got Robin van der Merwe behind him, with Vermeulen seemingly not making any inroads into the front three there, and then Loureiro kind of sitting pretty behind Jacques as well. And then Kale seems to be having a nice little battle with Gavin Scruton, which is quite surprising. So that team might be the first team that might get a bump into pro, which is part of our regulations for the first 2 rounds. But saying that, they're not that far ahead of the other drivers. So depending on what their next driver does, if the next driver is an absolute just alien, which I do believe Hansi is quite quick, so this should be interesting to see what they do.
Well, it will be. I mean, because it's a team versus team championship, from race 1 standing positions in the AM class is MC Racing. So, an MC Racing, oh, who is that?
I'll check for us now who is MC Racing, but I see that
That would be
Maria has gotten
Duplessis
another.
Oh, yeah. Now I can't help you anymore. Do it once and it's okay. Do it twice, that's awful.
It's harder to need Duplessis and Schalschnicker.
Yes, it is. I forgot that I could actually go down. So leading championship is MC Racing. So that's Schneur and Duplessis. Then we have Team Corned Beef in the AM class. So that's Greening and Lee Bullion. So I think Crouton and them are having just a fantastic race this evening.
Yeah, no, I looked at. They do seem to have clicked with Spa, and from the word go, they were looking like they were the AM team to catch at Spa, which was not the case at a wet Barcelona.
No, so doing phenomenally well. And saying that, Duplessis and Hardacre not far off them. So battle-wise, these 3 AM boys here are certainly giving it all at the moment. I mean, that's your podium 3 boys in the AM class within arm lengths of each other. I think a pit stop is probably going to mix it up quite a bit, and it depends who takes over from them if they can maintain this pressure.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's definitely going to be interesting, and I want to see if they can pull this through, because they had also, when they did their pit stop, they had some weird glitch where their car got reset back to the pits for some odd reason at Barcelona. So yeah, let's hope for a glitch-free transition from one driver to the next.
Well, most certainly.
So Robson, I see, has taken over from Andres Dupree in 18th place. So Wilfred he's going to be doing the long stint, it seems.
Let's not ruin everyone's race that much. I think I'm way too kind though.
Just a tad. Just a tad.
A drive-through is still long. Like a drive-through through Spa is endless, and I hate to say it. If there was any other given track, I would have just go suffer, have fun, good luck, adios, bye bye. But you, as a driver, an ex-driver, a former driver, call me what you want. That is a tight one. Now it looks like Kale has had a slight incident.
Yep, I wonder if he and didn't have it coming together there.
Probably, I would hope not. In all fairness, it does look like he probably just outbraked himself. So I'm gonna go be the betting man. Go like miss his brake point, and yeah, that is exactly what it is. Missed your braking point at that position. Came back on track as safely as he could. Lost the rear end and then carried on with the race.
Well, that's good going. So Scruton lives to fight another day and passes another pro driver.
He does, and again, but that also brings Ferreira quite close, or Ferreira and Hardacre quite close. And this battle is definitely emerging. The gap between them is within a second.
Yep. No, it's definitely getting a little bit more spicy than what we expected, because it did not look like Hardiker was making any inroads into scrutiny. But yeah, it looks like it's coming down to, and they should probably be pitting soon. So then it's going to be dependent who's got the undercut or the overcut.
That's true. But it is around about that time frame if you think about how the BMW works. And I honestly don't know what the physics is these days. You told me last week there's an update. The update came in, did a couple of changes on some cars. I mean, what's the word on the street at the moment? Is the BMW still front tire heavy? Does that...
In that regard, it's still exactly the same. They've just made it in some ways a little bit slower, and in other ways a little bit more reactive and quicker, and definitely harder on the rear tires, because of the shorter gear ratios that it's been given, spinning up the rear.
Ah, that's quite interesting. So, slight and minor tweaks from the developer bringing it into place here. So, they've done a lot of changes since it came to play, the M4. I mean, I still remember when it came in, had no BOP, and then everyone loved it because it was the optimal car. And then they did tweaks and changes whereby they practically ruined it. Now this is one to watch.
Our pit stop boys are in. Let's see how this goes.
Now it looked like he was very slow even before the pit wall limiter.
The error took place because while sitting on the jacks, someone selected second gear and then put it back first, but that obviously ultimately disengaged the pit limiter.
It does do that. For anyone on the stream that needs a bit of understanding of how that works, you can engage your pit limiter when you enter the pit lane, but at any given point you change your gear either at the pit box or transitioning to your pit box or out of it, your limiter is disengaged. And as most sim racers, we have full throttle on the pedal. I don't think there's anyone that lifts up and going into the pits, is there?
No,
big battle here between these two boys. Greening and Mare, that looks like.
Yeah, but I think Mare is a lap down, so Greening will probably let him go. Yeah, will let him go, because he's now a full lap behind. So I'm currently on Dino's stream, and I don't know who looks more nervous. I saw him, because he's got a camera on his face.
Now that's gonna be interesting to watch. They're still on there. I might just change over a bit. Still in the pit box. Nothing has moved.
There's about a 20 to 30 second delay between what we see live and what's going on his stream.
It's kind of one of those things. No pressure. First race you ruin it. Second race you can only get better from there on in. And it looks good. It looks good.
I can see in the dash that it says that the pit limiter is currently engaged. So hopefully.
Dino in the car, in the box seat, no drive-through for them. That is phenomenal. Welcome back, DMR boys. You are getting there. You are getting there. So, they are one of the first, I would say, front runners at the moment that's gone into the pit box. A lot of the other individuals hasn't done that yet. We are left with just over 40 minutes of racing time, and still plenty of boys have not pulled the trigger.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised that we've gone so deep that some of the guys haven't pitted yet, unless they... Well, I guess the 40-minute mark is probably the exact 50% mark. So they'll probably, the majority will start coming in now as we get to the 40 minutes.
It is true. I simultaneously thought that guys like Jacques Vermeulen would be in earlier because when he started the race off, he was quick. Like I don't know where he got his pace off, and in thought I went, he probably has a lighter tank, but he doesn't.
No, he doesn't, and he's actually he's getting to half distance. But yeah, I think they're not that far behind with the front boys. So if one of the front boys just makes a slight mistake, they might be in with a shot at the podium again. Okay, first boys have blinked.
First
Skutter
boys to
is
blink, Skitter is in,
Vermeulen
Vermeulen
is in.
also in. So that's a couple of guys trying to do that. Now Skitter went in, Strijdom
Dragon's
hasn't,
going to the Bruges, so
but then
he's going
again,
for
he was quite a bit of ahead of Skitter. Not by far, considering that Van der Merwe is only like 10 seconds behind Strijdom.
Yeah, that's not a lot considering
No.
second half of this race still needs to go, and we know that they all have to hand over to additional drivers. So definitely could start getting quite interesting, especially if Stradom's teammate Berries can fight with Vessels, and then I think then we'll have a whole new development going on. And some of the AM boys are starting to pit. I see Kale's in the pits. R. Duplessis is in the pits.
The halfway mark is certainly there. They do what any I would say kind-hearted sim racer does. Share the load 50-50.
Yeah.
But if you're fighting for championship, I would say your fastest driver will continue to drive for as long as he possibly can.
Yes. Yeah, no, look, I think it's the boys are definitely playing within the spirit of the team rules here. But yeah, I definitely expected maybe, some where the quicker driver maybe does a 50-minute stint or a 55-minute stint and not just the 40 minutes. But then again, these boys are as much as they are fighting for it, it is all in the name of fun, as we always say.
Yeah. But if you think about it, even in the SRO championship series that is predominantly out there from the GT3s to GT4 class type cars, they generally do driver swap at halfway marks, and no driver can actually drive longer than that. Now, of course, their races are far longer than our 80-minute races here at the moment.
Yeah,
But
Stepwoman and Robin both reacting to Vermeulen and Skutter's pit stops, but good to see that Vermeulen and Skutter both handed over. So Vessels and Bullion in the cars and no penalties. That's the important part. No penalties.
yeah, that's the big thing you would want to avoid all the time. And I have to admit it. I think I'm gonna go back to my livery discussions. I am loving this RTA livery. I always have. I honestly follow these boys on their Instagram and Twitter channels and so forth. So again, everyone watching the stream, boys, we all love the support and appreciation everyone gives to us on social medias and platforms. But in all fairness, you got to give it out to these boys on their own platforms as well. Some of them do manage their own teams. They are quite serious with it, and they do well. Racing Team Astra is one of them. Luxury Time Racing is another one. C2P, which is kind of what Pace Motorsports, is another one. Just to name the few. Ooh, something went horribly wrong there with me.
That was someone's lagged. Was that you lagging?
It's probably me.
Because that BMW, I just almost had a heart attack. That vessel went through the barrier.
There we go. Admin while streaming.
Admin while streaming. Absolutely awesome from Bossman being commentator, broadcaster, and steward.
Well, I haven't doing anything. I'm just keeping an eye out and making sure everyone has a fair chance as everyone else does. So Robin van der Merwe is out. Hold on a second.
Oh, Robin is out.
Robin is out.
Like
Yo,
coming out, that's going to be close with
that is
the
very close.
RTO.
Look at that, right on the tail end of
Wow,
Vessels.
wow. Now this is going to be a fight. Now let's see what Harrod Janssen from Vieren, Mr. Sheep, can do with Stefan Wessels, aka the donkey.
Yeah, but I gotta go and look at where that counted so much. So if I look at time pit window between these two boys, it's hardly anything between them. 0.2 difference between the both of them. So it had to be that in-out lap scenario that Robin did. He just pulled it out qualifying lap before entering the pit stop, and that is phenomenal.
Yeah, but I think the overcut worked because even Stradom and them, they were was it 7 or 8 seconds ahead, where they're now almost 12 seconds ahead. So they've gained about 4 seconds, and that is roughly, I think, what Robin gained on Vessels as well. So yeah, no, so clearly the overcut somehow worked, unless the other two were just extremely cautious going into the pit lane.
That is true, but now if you look at where we are now at the end of the lap, so they kind of met each other on top of Eau Rouge, and since then Vessels has created a 3.5-second gap. So
Yep.
warmer tires on the second lap for the RTA boys versus the colder tires for Van Vieren and them. Again, nerves kicking in, focus, zoning. So again, you go like, oh, I need to get this right. Oh, I can compete here, but then you lose focus and zone into it. So I don't know. It's tough to say whether the overcut is far better than the undercut.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's balancing out, but keeping in mind, Vessels seem to have taken about 1.5 seconds out of Barrington Smith on that lap.
He is very quick at the moment. That last lap of Vessels was at 2:18.5, 0.2 slower than the fastest lap at the moment, which was at 2:18.3. So he has fire lit on his seat at the moment. He is going for the W. That is quick. That is quick. I'm gonna keep an eye out on these boys. Oh, back in the mix now. Schnur and Mawa.
Back at it.
Kind of back at it. So this is Caleb Mawa trying to get back what I believe his teammate lost a bit coming into the chicane not so long ago. And we all know Caleb Mawa has got some good pace. I'm still surprised to see the man in a BMW though. I would have never expected Mr. Mawa from Pace Motorsports to take a BMW.
Yeah, I think he's definitely trying to find something that is quick and that he could get used to be able to move forward. So I want to see these deltas filter through now, because it seems like Terence and his teammate in the Merc silently went about their business and jumped the whole group there.
He did. Where did that come from?
Yeah, that's what I'm going. So I'm going to check quickly. I just want to see who was his teammate.
So his teammate was Hardacre.
Yeah. Okay. So they were in that battle there with
Yeah.
They were in a battle with Schnur, and they've pulled almost 6.5 seconds out of Schnur.
And it wasn't to the pit stops, like probably very little, like marginal. Like in all fairness, if I go look at the pit time windows of everyone currently, most of them are on point. It looks like Stradom and them did have one of these. Ooh, that went very far wide.
Yep. Terence last night was kissing more walls than past girlfriends that he's had. we were having a good joke, and he said he was mimicking me and decided to channel his inner Paul the Wall here. So I said to him, please, not tonight, because they were showing some fantastic speed and mixing it up between the pro boys.
So, talking about this whole thing, and while I'm seeing certain individuals that in racing class is classified as not pitted, but I'm fairly sure they have done what they needed to, because my data tells me that they've done a pit stop. However, the system doesn't pick it up because they haven't done a driver swap, and that's kind of the glitch we have at this moment. And we probably need to figure out how to address that with the drivers on hand and scale all the points accordingly.
Yeah, we'll need to check, because Myberg did a swap with Scruton.
And it still didn't pick it up.
And so that means they haven't done a tire change possibly.
Or fuel.
Because it is, yes, so it is mandatory to do tires and fuel. It's not mandatory to do the driver. But yeah, if I obviously after the race will check in with them and see, so we can just correct the points and stuff. But yeah, if that's the case, then they are penalties incoming, unfortunately.
Yeah, if again, so racing conditions for us tonight is a mandatory pit stop, no driver swap required though, and they got to do tires and fuel. Now, the unfortunate side with that, and again, there's lots of discussions at the back of them for everything that Simracing GP has brought to all the communities out there. There's a minor glitch that we have observed, that if you run an event whereby you don't want drivers, whereby driver swap is not mandatory, and we're purely doing this for load shedding in South Africa, and because there are instances where people can't pitch. So let's have a team versus team race scenario, but also have the ability for drivers to start and finish a race. But the glitch is there. It's something being worked on, but nonetheless, hopefully we will get that sorted out soon. Again, not everything in IT is a quick fix.
Yeah, that is true.
That is a badly hurt BMW.
Whoa, yeah, no, that BMW that's throw it away and ask BMW for a new one.
Yes, and he's trying to stay off the road. Whether that is an actual wise decision at this point of the track.
But I think he's gonna. I think he was just trying to get it far away off the track. Yeah, it's a new team, Orion Racing. So it is another console group of boys that have transferred over to the PC side. So it is the Bond brothers that have joined us. It is Adrian Bond and Wayne Bond. And unfortunately, it seems like their race has come to a premature end.
That's unfortunate. I wanted to go back and see if I can catch the replay, but I didn't go far back enough for that. So, front running, Barrington Smith being chased down by Vessels at the present moment, and things have changed a bit. So, Vessels now fastest lap of the race with a 2:17.9.
That is amazing. And yeah, he keeps on taking time out of Barrington Smith. I mean, that gap has come down from 11.5 and it's down to 7.8.
Yeah, it's really coming down bit by bit by bit. Now they were evenly matched in the last lap though, so I'm going with a bit of nerves for Barrington Smith. Might not be his favorable track. Again, last week I was all about commentating that this is not really his ideal car, so
yeah.
Audi on the other hand, Van Vieren looking good. I think this is going to be a solid race for them. Like, it's good to see them up there.
No, 100%. It's awesome to see them all up there having a go at each other. Here we go. Gavin's on stream. Our pit stop did not register our driver swap. Says we still have to do a stop. Okay. So we are going to have to manually adjust the race results because they will be getting a penalty for it.
And that's perfectly fine. It's easily done after race conditions. I mean, all we have to do is do a bit of adjustments of the points itself and then tie it up to what it is. I don't think there's any adjustments we can do on race position finishing. It does all the calculations of the total time and it will do that automatically, but we can scale the points accordingly so that everything is fair.
That's about as far as where we can go to try and help the boys out. But yeah, these things happen. And it's all part of, unfortunately, all part of the racing.
Big battle here at the back though. Lee Bullion. Never seen a Bullion man flashing lights, but that was an angry man at that present moment. Barging his way through. Now he is trying to get away from Van der Venter there, who is hunting him down in the Aston Martin. So again, that would be Neil Greening, who is a couple team with Neil Greening. Who is his teammate?
Lee Bullion is Neil Greening's team.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
How did I get that wrong then? Oh no, wait, these two are battling for position. Oh, it just goes to show.
Yeah, so I think the way I'm looking at it, possibly understanding is that the Scruton and Iver, did they do an extra stop to try and get their pit stop to register? Because they dropped to 12th and they were fighting in 6th and 7th.
So they are 12.
That's quite a
Yeah, they did. But this does indicate that they have done 2 pit stops, so you are 100% correct on that. Interesting, these little bugs and tweaks that shouldn't be there.
Yes, yeah, Gavin's confirming on stream now. Yeah, they did 2 stops to try and clear the driver swap.
And
Man, we will have to refer that to the stewards and add it part of our investigations to be done, Gavin. I don't really know what to say to that. That's an absolute bummer.
Yeah, we will certainly take a snapshot of what we see based on how many people have put it and when, and then have the discussion and see what we can calculate. As Van der Venter goes on the inside line, now that had to have happened at some point, and that looks like the RTA boy, their Vessels there in the mix as well. So he's got 2 boys ahead of him fighting for position while he is trying to hunt down the #1 race leader.
Yeah, and this gets quite tricky because those boys are fighting for a position as well. But as we see, the first of the Astons moved out the way, so that hopefully makes it just a little bit easier for Vessels there.
It does, and that delta is ticking downwards the longer we race. 22 minutes of the race left. Are we going to try and do those Formula 1 predictions where it's going to happen in the final 3 laps?
At the rate it's going, yes, I think so. I think let's go. I'm gonna say on lap 5. So what's that? 8 minutes left in the race. I think then Vessels is going to be all over Barrington Smith.
It's going to be tough. I think it's going to be very, very close. Like, they are very close on point from a racing standpoint. Their lap times are similar. It just seems like Vessels has got a slight edge over him from a lap by lap point of view. and that is purely because of Sector 1 at the moment. So Vessels is very quick through Sector 1. Probably one of the quickest guys through there. The fastest guy at the moment through Sector 1 is Moore, who we are watching at the moment, hitting the quickest first sector of a 41.2. So that is phenomenal with an
And
AM class guy.
yeah, that's an M driver showing the pros how it's done through Sector 1.
Yeah, that is
That is,
quick. Like, he is
that
the
is,
quickest
that,
in Sector 1.
you will absolutely love that stat. Well,
Yeah,
Alex.
I would certainly take that. Now, of course, the battle for Sector 2 is a close contention between Nel Bullion here, currently in fourth place, and then, of course, Kalen Mawa in sixth place. And fair or not, A Bond, who's currently in the pit stop, is also on there, but they are running in the about 61 seconds for Sector 2. And then, of course, surprise, surprise, the fastest third sector. Oh no, that was just smashed by Vessels. Fastest third sector is now Vessels, who goes away on my screen.
I assume Vessels might be having some lag on his side because everyone else looks fine.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if he's actually running off of mobile data and whether he's running off of fiber because he's within the last week he's moved house and he posted a picture. I think it was on Monday. No, on Sunday, where his rig was on the back of his Ford Ranger and he was making as if he's racing on the back of the Ranger. Just to add some fun to it.
Yeah, it does become tough when you move house for anyone that does. I dread it if I have to think that I have to move house. I think I actually just dread the thought of probably changing internet providers.
Something's happened. Arctica is all of a sudden back in the car, so they must have had a disconnection.
Wait, there at the back.
Terrence, and where did they go now? Where did they go? Where is Terrence? And they're in 17th. Okay, so yeah, something must have happened because Haruka is back in the car. So that means Terrence gave the car back to him. So I would only assume with them dropping so many laps that they've had a disconnection.
Yeah, that is an odd and unusual one. As he goes back in the pits again.
Yeah, I assume he's doing a driver swap to give the car back to Terrence for him to race the last 18 minutes of the race.
I wonder where the network glitches are this evening. It seems to be quite prominent tonight.
Yeah, it's very strange. We haven't really had disconnections, but yeah, definitely had a few guys not able to. We've had 4 people not able to actually access the server, and then yeah, we've had 2 seems to be lag spikes with the when we're on board with different vessels, and now it seems like Arctica has disconnected and then reconnected.
Well, we gotta figure out what to do and what's the best thing to do for everyone in the long term. Now again, as I said, we're all testing this team swap driver thing on simracing.gp. They have they've had phenomenal success of it. And yes, we do get challenges here and then, some creepy crawlers that lurk up that we don't want. Tonight seems to be one of them, and again, we will probably discuss that further to see where do we go here from next, because again, we've got all the security requirements enabled, and again, that helps us from a streaming perspective and things like that, because it just seems better, but we might need to revert to something else.
Yeah, no, we might have to have a look at that. But yeah. Besides that, okay, so the gap from Vessels is still sitting at 7.2 seconds. So does not look like he's currently making any further inroads into berries.
No, not really. And like I said, they were quite on pace with each other the whole time. There are instances where Vessels is far quicker and dominant, as we see Mayberg here being very aggressive there on Venter. Now he has got looks like Gerard van Vieren behind him, who is lapping the boys ahead of him. And I'm sure Van Venter would not want him to go past because he's going to lose all the momentum, allowing Mayberg to capitalize on that. As I speak, that is exactly what has happened. Too wide entry into the chicane. Oh, that was tight, but beautiful though.
Yeah, there's a slight bit of nudging there, but that's all right. Both got away with that. Now to see what they're doing to turn one.
It closes the door slightly on him, but he is allowed to do that. Tries to make the worst out of it. Again, the BMW capitalizes on that terrible exit from him. And that's all about corner one. You lose your momentum out there, you lose the corner.
Yep, 100%.
And if you and that's just from having the inside line of it.
With Mayberg doing his extra stop and all the other AM boys seemingly having some sort of issues or issues around, they've been able to get themselves back into P3.
They have though, and it all seems to have settled in nicely. So Schneur here is in the first AM class position. They are having a phenomenal race though. Like, in all fairness, Renier and so forth didn't look very well settled in the beginning, but they're potentially looking to take a winning again here on the AM class. So it's not all about speed, it's just how you manage the race.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, let's see if Schneur and them, how they do. They can get this thing to the finish line with 15 minutes to go.
Less than 15 minutes, and I'm looking for stats everywhere. I'm going to see what is interesting to share with everyone else. The gaps are fairly widely open between all individuals out there. The closest racing team at the moment is Mayberg, who's being chased down by Venter and then Bullion. And then we have Nel Bullion there behind Mayberg. And that is a leading car. Sure. Tricky spot to do that.
That was hold your breath moment.
That is commitment though, like pure trust and commitment between fellow sim racing drivers. Now of course Moore and Mayberg are still indicating that they haven't done a pit stop. I can confirm that they have done 2 pit stops. So
yeah, I know Moore has done a pit stop because he's also had to do a drive sim.
That is very true. So from where they are position point of view, we will capture that and hopefully do the needed point adjustment if and when required. I sound like a politician at the moment. I don't even know why.
You sound politically correct.
So where do we sit? One of them has retired since that incident that they have had, sitting there with their car. Ferrara and them is back in the mix now. They definitely did not have the best race at all. Oh, and Van Zyl. I've hardly mentioned Van Zyl at all.
Defender flip.
Defender flip.
He hasn't had to do much defending tonight. He's been doing the chasing.
He has. Again, he and Lorello started off very, very well, and then they had the very competitive Jacques Vermeulen in car 47, who's now driven by Nel Bullion, taking that 4th place from them in a matter of instance. But subsequent to that, they've pretty much had a very lonely race.
Yeah, it's been very quiet race for them. They've just been going about doing their laps and not much else.
I do have to admit it. We are missing the PWSR boys.
Yes, we are missing Alan and Chris DeSantos. I know Alan, I think Alan did mention that he was going to be away for work and Chris was going to race alone, but I assume something's happened and Chris has not been able to race as well.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Now, this battle is getting closer and closer, though.
Now, Niall has taken out, because they were also about 9 seconds behind Van Pieren, and that's down to 2.5. So with 11, just under 11 minutes to go, another intriguing battle builds, whereas Vessels is still about 7 seconds away from Barrington Smith. So I doubt he is going to be able to pull that gap back
For
to
what we
try,
predicted.
yeah, to try and fight for the win then.
It feels like a Formula deja vu. Because I reckon there was something whereby the McLaren, the Mercedes were catching the Ferrari within 3 laps, but I don't recall that ever happened.
Yep, there's definitely been a few of those. The Ferrari forgets what to do, then they do extra pit stops, or they, do pit stops for wrong tires. So yeah, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, I feel sorry for a couple of Ferrari fans out there. That if it ever was a year for them to come in and try and dominate, this was it. Uh, but nonetheless, these two boys here, Audi versus BMW. Again, the only Audi splitting a whole bunch of BMWs at this stage in the mix there. And if I say a whole bunch, there is quite a number of them and only a singular Audi that has stood the test of time.
Yeah, and it's sitting in third place. See on screen, Dave is screaming for Sheep to go. Don't know where he must go. Go around the track, Dave. Where must Sheep go? Tell us. Dave's gonna
Dave, big
Dave's
fan
gonna
of the
tell me
sheep.
the story.
Again, this is all for our new viewers and even for the ones that know us quite well. We are a predominant console community. We have recently switched over to PC. Now we try and accommodate both aspects of it, and most of the drivers from here are from the console side of it. So again, when we go console nicknames, that's how we've known each other for sounds like forever though, but it's not.
They say anything past 2 years is forever.
That is true. That is true. Once you put a ring on it, it's forever. You are stick with it. Ball and chain, sim racing, here we go.
My ring is still in the post, eh? Coming from the UK. Eh? There we go.
Okay, so this is getting close. They are pretty much the closest battle.
That's under 2 seconds. That's coming. And
that is coming. Apart from these two boys.
He's trying to chase down Van de Vente there. So, yeah.
They've both been very consistent, equally running the same pace. Haven't given away to either one. Now, of course, there is a bit of I don't know who is there at the back. Is the BMW? Is that Neville? No, definitely not Marais. Don't know who that is. Van der Haar, Gary Van der Haar.
He's back out track doing his laps, so he's doing himself proud, not just giving up, and keeps on trucking.
Yeah, they got a good race. You did mention that you believe that his teammate didn't make it today, right?
Yes, his teammate is away for business, so Gary is 18 minutes soloing tonight. And he's actually done, he generally does like 1 hour's worth of practice, and because he had to solo this, he did a whole 2 days worth of practice.
Well, so big ups for him.
Pretty proud of Gary, and I mean, having it in 16 after his crash, still not bad.
Still not good. It's very, very decent. Again, 2 pit stops for him on the card. So it's one of those where we just need to maybe tweak it here and there, but they are not really in battle. Robson here on the other hand, they definitely did not have the best of races today. 3 laps down at the present moment. That Audi was in all kinds of bad shape the whole evening. And Robson is trying to bring it back home for the team. Gotta go to the battle. This is far closer than what it was before. Bit of a lift there, as you hear.
Yeah, definitely a slight lift just to make sure he gets through and doesn't die. Which is
There's
always
I wanted to hear whether that Audi does lift or does die coming up Eau Rouge. Gap is closer. That pressure on Gerard Janssen van Vieren is certainly building up as the night skies are coming in. Clouds are making it darker. Lights are being switched on. Final 5 minutes of the race.
Yeah, and Bullion is 1.4 seconds behind Machine. So this is going to be nail-biting stuff. Let's see if we can see the Vermeulen stream, because I'm sure his face and his camera will be something to witness the game, as it was last week. Back in between them. The memes we could make with Shark's reactions
Of last week. That reminds me, I do remember that. We had that whole backmarker scenario coming into the mix between the front running boys. Managed to pass his way through it and create a big gap, but nerve-wracking for some. I'm fairly certain a few words were exchanged there. One of those Fernando Alonso versus Lewis Hamilton after race conditions.
Yeah, most certainly. But yeah, he looks quite relaxed on stream. He's sitting and fiddling on his cell phone. So yeah, no, he seems very relaxed, and I guess he's given his pep talk to his teammate that he needs to step it up and get that podium.
I certainly see that there's a yellow flag for Mayberg, and I can't see him on my stream. So every time I go and click on the man, he is not there.
He's gone.
Mayberg is gone. Mayberg is gone.
Oh my word. That is another disconnection.
That is so sad because I picked up that something went awfully wrong. Every time I went to view the man, he definitely was not there. As this battle still continues between the AM boys. And in all fairness, this is for the podium position in the AM class. Schnur definitely seems to have it in the bag. Moore, on the other hand, is way up there in front, coming down the mountainside already. And Van der Venter and Lee Bullion is battling it out here.
Yeah, and again, that's for that final podium spot in the ad class. So definitely a big fight on their hands for the boys.
I do love it though. The AM boys seems to just bring it in the mix every single time, and it's great to see the two different class guys actually racing, but simultaneously being so respectful to one another on the track, knowing when to race and choosing the battles wisely, and then taking it from there. Talking about that, Norkia here is closing the gap between himself and Schnur. Again, not for position, but he's driving around about the same pace as Schnur.
Yeah, so I know they were struggling with a bit of speed and pace here, so I think just a clean race, no penalties, anything to that effect, that's a win for them at this moment in time. So the gap from Barrington Smith to Vessels
has gone down a lot.
3 seconds.
Of course, we're only going to get to... This would probably be final lap territory, not?
I think this would be the final lap.
we only left with about 1 minute 42, 43 seconds. So I'm reckoning this is close to the final lap scenario. Of course, Vessels went off track. Big
Oh
excursion
no.
there for him. Now, of course, he's got a decent gap between himself and Van Vieren and him, but he pulls
Completely
off the track
destroyed.
again.
Yeah,
That
no, the
doesn't look
front
good.
wheels, the front wheels are destroyed.
Let's see if we can catch that on stream. So Vessels goes straight here. No issues through there. Al Rouge
It's
takes a
probably on
good
the
line.
exit.
Oh,
Oh,
slips.
just snapped on him. Oof.
That
That
is
is,
serious damage. I hate to say that is serious damage.
yeah, that is destroyed. Now,
And
that
he's in the
is
pits. He's in the
horrible. Yeah,
pits.
that's absolutely horrible to see. That's not how we would like to see that. So basically, the fight for third has now become the fight for second.
Yes, it has. And this is final lap of the race.
Yeah,
Final lap.
guaranteed final lap with an 18-second gap over third place. Barrington Smith can just back it up just to make sure that he finishes the race on this lap and doesn't need to do an additional lap.
Yeah, Sheep or Gerard van Vieren needs to keep it cool, calm, and collective. I mean, there's only a couple of turns for him. Final few turns for Barrington Smith here as he comes in and out of the chicane. I reckon that is a big W for them. 2 in a row. Fantastic drive by these boys. Fundamentally, Gerard van Vieren, though, is going to take second place. Vessels on them are going to drop far, far low to where they would have wanted to be.
Alex Moore takes second place in the AM class once that invalid penalty is removed.
Yes, we got to go remove that. Oh, wait.
So Vessels and them will keep dropping as the boys finishes the race. They're probably going to drop to about 8th place, and that should be where it settles. So, yeah, so Bullion takes... Where did Sheep?
Where did Sheep go?
Why is Sheep disqualified? Sheep is being disqualified. What has happened?
What?
That cannot be.
No, that makes absolutely no sense to me at all.
What? Let's see. Sheep must have a stream up. Let's see if we can see.
Yeah, we gotta go and figure that one out a bit. Something's gone weirdly wrong with the system itself. Barrington Smith taking the victory. I'm gonna see if I can go to the garage. I'm definitely gonna try and take some snapshots here so that we can remember this.
He goes over the line and he instantly gets disqualified. Paul, oh, you know what? He never turned his lights on. He's qualified for his lights off during the night, and he did that for 3 laps.
No.
And that is a legitimate disqualification by the game.
I have no words.
I have to see how we can remove that. This has been absolutely entertaining, fascinating event. Oh boy, the race results is going to look most bizarre
yes. Out of everything, again, this was strange. For everyone on the stream, if you are as baffled as what we are, I'm sorry. This has happened. This really did happen tonight. Again, big ups, big thank you for everyone out there. I think from us, it's a good night. See you next week. Let's hope it's better.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching, gentlemen. See you all next week.
Stereo. Bye bye.